Hi, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I'd like to talk to you today about the important Social Security places on age and education. And what I mean by that is that there is a bias, a built-in bias in Social Security disability for claimants over the age of 50, and especially those over the age of 50 with a limited education and limited work skills. Social Security recognizes that claimants, individuals over the age of 50 are going to have a much more difficult time than younger individuals getting back into the workforce if they've been out or if they've got some sort of medical issue. And when you factor in limited education, and I mean typically less than a high school education, and then a further factor would be limited work skills. Perhaps the past work has only been in unskilled labor type of work. Social Security recognizes that those folks would have a much more difficult time finding work, and thus it becomes easier to prove disability. In fact, one of the theories of disability that I use is arguing for disability under what are called the grid rules, or medical vocational guidelines. And really what the grid rules do is they allow people to be found disabled even if they could do some kinds of work. So in other words, under the grid rules, if you could do sedentary or sit-down work, you can still be found disabled because the number of jobs in the sedentary job base is so small for people over 50 with a limited education that in fact, as a practical matter, you are disabled. So I think that meeting a grid rule is certainly a classic example of how someone over age 50 with a limited education can get approved early. Now, even if you don't meet a grid, my experience has been that judges still give a lot of deference to claimants over the age of 50. And I think part of this is, again, an inherent recognition that if you're over 50, it's going to be very difficult for you to find and keep a job because there's so many younger people that are better health risks for employers. I think the second thing is that Social Security judges recognize that if you're over 50, you're not going to be on collecting disability for more than, say, 10 years, 10, 12 years, because when you hit 62 or 65, you'll begin collecting retirement disability. So a judge is more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt if you've only got 5 or 6 years or 3 or 4 years of collection of disability benefits, as opposed to someone age 25 who may have another 25 or 30 years. And of course, Social Security judges are under a lot of pressure from the Social Security Administration to minimize benefits that are awarded to only deserving people. And again, my experience has been that if you're younger, judges are less likely to give you the benefit of the doubt, and they're more likely to say, well, this person perhaps could find something really easy to do. But once you hit about 50, judges tend to be more willing to say, well, I can understand that this person probably has a lot of, maybe a couple of major health problems, but maybe some minor ones, and also there's a pretty good likelihood that it's going to be very difficult for this person to find a job. So age and education, work experience, those are all really important factors in disability cases. In fact, in my office, if I have a potential client who's over age 50, I'm really tempted to take almost every one, because I know that I've got a pretty good shot at winning, because again, Social Security does give a lot of deference to people over age 50, and really what they say, their testimony is going to be given more weight, and that's just been my experience. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and we'll talk to you soon.